Hello all, welcome to the Web Application Pen Testing course on Pentester Academy. Now in this video, we will start the very interesting and detailed topic of cross-site scripting or XSS as it is popularly called. Now XSS is really a client-side vulnerability, and in the web world typically it's the browser which we mean by the client. Now, the whole idea behind XSS is that an attacker can insert JavaScript into the web page being rendered on the client either in a persistent or in a non-persistent way. When this happens, he can now execute that JavaScript in the context of the current user on the website in which he found the XSS vulnerability, and this could lead to a ton of interesting repercussions, the most important of which is session hijacking. Now let's take up an example. Now I'm going to use challenge 16, which was really HTML injection, and just to remind you guys, you could basically put in your email address and a password, and well, if it is wrong, it just reflects back the email address to you just to ensure you need to just try the password again. Now if you've done this challenge, you know that this is vulnerable to HTML injection, and if you haven't, please go visit the challenge. And if you recall, this is really what we had done, and we had put in the h1 tag, probably printed a little message in there. Let's say hello, and commented the rest out, and this had resulted in HTML injection. Now cross-site scripting is a special case in which we basically go ahead and use the JavaScript tags and insert JavaScript. So I'm going to now use the script tag rather than the h1 tag, and I'm going to put in the infamous alert box, which actually announces vulnerable to XSS. And now when we send this data back, it reflects back, and this time, rather than the browser just rendering like it did for the h1 tag, this time the browser reads that it's a script tag, takes the JavaScript in there and executes it. And as we can clearly see, we now have the alert box. Now, if this specific application had cookies in it, then we could have just put in document.cookie, and if there was a cookie, we would see that as well. Now XSS is fairly a very vast topic, and I mean to take up it in very detail. There are tons of things like how you steal the cookie, how you post it to the remote attacker's server for reuse, or how do you just take actions on behalf of the user without really even wanting to hijack the session remotely, right? So we will look at all of these variations, and this video serves as just a quick introduction to XSS. Now I've tried out the example in Firefox. If you're using Chrome, remember that Chrome has XSS protection built in, and you can click on the JavaScript console, and now if I try the same URL with the XSS vulnerability, you would actually find that there is no pop-up, but rather Chrome says something interesting, which is XSS auditor refused to execute a strip blah 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 because the auditor was enabled and the server neither sent an XSS protection or content security policy in the header. We will take both of these up in a future video in detail. But for the time being, keep in mind that many basic XSS vulnerabilities might not work in Chrome because of the XSS auditor. However, as you will see in forthcoming challenges, that in many cases you can beat the XSS auditor very simply. Anyway, that's all for this video. Hope you're enjoying your time at Pentester Academy, and if you do, we would really appreciate if you can recommend us to your friends and colleagues in the InfoSec community. Thank you.